Hi everyone. I believe that you are doing quite well. Welcome again. My name is Julius, and today I want to take you through visualization. In Microsoft Excel, ladies and gentlemen, visualization is one of the means or one of the tricks that is really giving a lot of people headaches. But did you know that visualization is one of the ways of making the best reports or the best management reports that you can always share? If you want to have a quick overview of your company's performance in a nutshell, that is made very possible by the use of visualizations. By visualizations, ladies and gentlemen, I am talking about the concept of pivot tables and pivot charts. We have this data set here, for example. You can check these are sales data. We have interacted with it already in our previous video, so I wouldn't go much explaining about this particular data set that we have here. We have some questions that have been asked out of this question here, out of this data. And what we are determined to get, number one is the sales per product. Number two, we are required to get the sales per salespersons, sales per year, sales per region, sales per product in number of years, sales by salesperson in the number of years, and the customer sales by number of years. If I move back to my data set here, ladies and gentlemen, if I can just be able to navigate down to my last row here, I notice that this data runs down all the way to row number 578. So how would I quickly present this data that is really, this is one of the big data, and one of the characteristics of big data is in terms of volume. And we say that they are quite noisy data. So I just want to make sure that I make a quick report that is going to generalize this into a simple report that somebody can read and be able to interact with it. By the end of this video, you will be able to learn how to easily create a very, very interactive and dynamic dashboard. So let's go. Here I have my data set and I want to create my dashboard. In other words, I want to create a good visualization. So what I will do first is to convert my data into a table. I had already explained that if you want to do a visualization, if you want to create dynamic pivot charts and pivot tables, convert your data into table format such that when you come back here and update on anything or make any changes into your original data set, then that should also be able to reflect to your pivot table or pivot chart reports. You will simply trigger the refresh command and everything will run. I will show you that as we proceed. To convert this data into a table, I will simply use keyboard shortcut Control-T. It asks me for my data source. This is okay. I will make sure that I check on my data has headers because I want to use the first row here as headers. So everything is okay. I will go ahead and click OK. Great. That has converted my data set into a table. Right here, I can move to table design and I can be able to change my table into different formats that I want. So if I need my table to be in these formats, I can use these different formats that are available here. I will stick to this format that I have. Once I have this, there are two ways in which we can answer these questions. Remember, these are the questions that we have. The first question asks us for the sales per product. So we just want to create a pivot chart that will quickly analyze and summarize our data set that we have here into that. Once again here, if I move to table design, here I have the option summarize with pivot table. But I can as well use my insert tab to insert a pivot table. Once I move to insert tab, here I have the option for pivot table. I'd prefer using the table design. So once again, I will move to table design. I will click on summarize with pivot table. That lands me to this window here and it asks me for my table or data range. It names it table 1 and this reminds me I should go back and first of all rename my table so that I have a good name. So here where I have table name, I will replace this table 1 and call it sales data. I will call it sales data. I will call this sales data. So once I'm done, now I'm able to summarize with a pivot table. So I go there, I summarize with pivot table. So it is sales data. I want it in a new worksheet. So everything is okay by default. I will proceed further to click OK. Now that lands me to this window here. And I have two panes here, the pane to the left and the pane to the right. Right here over the left, this is the space where my pivot table will be created. From the right, I can be able to choose my pivot table area variables, and I be able to put them into different custom fields or the custom areas. Here I have the filters, I have the columns, the values, and the rows. Columns, I will put here the variables that I want to appear on my columns, the variables that I want to appear on my rows, and I want to make it clear if you want to use the values field, we always use it for the variables that you want to perform mathematical operations on them. If, for instance, we want to get the sales per product, that is our first question. We want to get the sales per product. So right here, I will click on my products and I will drag it over to rows. If I check over my left pane here, you see a list of all my products here. Once again, I come here, I take my sales in USD, then I take it to the values field. That quickly gives me my sum of sales in US dollars. And this is a table generalizing everything for my sales per product. Once again here, if I come here, I can be able to do a lot of customizations with this pivot table. Let's say, for example, I want to align it in the order such that I have the product that sold the highest come first, and I have the product that sold the lowest come last. In other words, I want to arrange it in some descending order. So that will give me a quick overview to be able to see which product performs the best, followed by which product up to which product. So what I will do, I will right click on any of the sum. I move to sort. I will move to sort. Then I want to sort it largest to smallest. So I'm going to click on sort largest to smallest. Then boom, that gives me my data set here. So right over here, I can be able to quickly see that tonic sold the highest 8,332,980. Bottle sold the second highest 8,157,178. Over here, I can format this so that I have it as comma delimited. Let me put it like that. I will reduce the decimal places. Right? So I have that. Great. Once again here, there are different operations that you can be able to do from this. Watch my previous video if you want to know how to play around with your pivot table. For now, I want to summarize with a pivot chart. So I want to insert a pivot chart. So I will move over here to pivot table analyze, Right over here, I have pivot chart. So I'm going to click on pivot chart. That leads me to this window here. So from here, I have quite a list of pivot charts where I can choose from. So well, I think the cluster column chart is okay. So I will just click on that. Then I say okay. Great. That gives me a pivot chart here that summarizes my data set. So what I will do first of all is to give my chart a title. So I will rename this total as, this is now sales per product. This is now sales per product, sales per product, sales per product. Over here, I can do a lot of customizations that I want with my pivot chart. If I click on this plus here, I have different chart elements and I can be able to add axis titles. I can add data labels. I can add data table, the error bars, legend, grid lines, trend line, and all that. I'm not interested in all that for now. Everything looks okay for me. And if you look down here again, you can be able to change your chart style to accommodate your needs. So maybe I could use this type of chart. I would prefer this type of chart. Once again here, you can be able to change the color of your chart. So here you have different colors from where you can choose. So you'll walk through, maybe I want to use this color. So I will use this type of chart here. This is what I will use. This is what I will use. So once again here, I just want to remove these chart elements here because they are really overlapping my chart. So I will just click on these and then I will deactivate the field buttons. All right, now my chart looks okay as it is. So I have just answered the first question here, summarizing my data using this pivot chart. Once again, if I check onto my pivot chart, I can be able to see that it is corresponding to my pivot table. Here, tonic sells the highest, bottle sells the second highest, followed by soft drinks, and then finally, ice cubes. Great. So I will rename this sheet as sales per product. I'm going to have multiple sheets, so I just want to make sure that I don't confuse all of them. So I want to rename this as sales per product. I want to rename this as sales per product. Over here, I will move back to my questions. The next question is sales per salesperson. So while I will move back to my data set, I move over to table design. I'll click on table design. I say summarize with pivot table. I want to put it in a new worksheet, so everything is okay by default. I'll just click OK. And this time round, what I need is sales per salesperson. So I'm gonna have my salesperson put it under the rows. Then I'm going to have my sales in USD. I put it under the values. So you notice that my pivot chart areas are still formatted in the way in which I formatted them in the descending order. So everything looks well. I just want to insert a pivot chart here. So I will move on to pivot table analyze. I click on pivot chart. Then this time round, maybe I want to use a pie chart. This time round, I want to use a pie chart, and maybe I want to use this other pie chart here. So I will select on it. Then I say okay. That inserts my pie chart here, and great. I can be able to give it a title, and this pie chart is for sales per salesperson. Sales per salesperson. Right. So this is my pie chart over here that is representing this, but it's quite hard to read on this value, so I'd want to put individual values for each salesperson here. Beside this, I can see my keys. So the blue area denotes the sales for Homer Simpson. The orange area denotes sales for Ian Wright. All right. I'm poor at colors, but I believe this is gray. The gray color represents the sales for John Melodious, and finally the yellow color represents the sales for Michael Jackson. So these are our salespersons: Homer Simpson, Ian Wright, John Melodious, and Michael Jackson. I just want to have my sales placed for each individual person. So I will come to the chart elements, then I click on data labels. Great. That introduces the data labels just beside each chart. Everything looks okay, but let me still walk through if I can get maybe a good chart style that will suit maybe what I need. All right, here quite a number. Let me see. Okay, I believe the first one forms a very good visualization. The first one forms a very, very good visualization. So I wouldn't want to change it. So I just want to maintain it as it is. Once here, what I will do is to remove my field buttons. So I will just remove my field buttons. Everything looks right. So this is okay. I also can just align it here. So I will call this sheet as sales per salesperson. So this is now sales per salesperson. This is now sales per salesperson. So look at the way I'm really actually generalizing my big data set that I have just by a click on of some few buttons here. This seems to be quite making sense, and it's working out perfectly. So I will continue. The next thing that I need to do is sales per year. So I just want to see how my product sold for the different years. So once again, I will move to table design. I summarize with pivot table. That is okay as it is. So what I want to see right now is the sales per year. So once again, I will take my years, drag them into rows. Then from here, I take the sales in USD, I put them into values. So this gives me my sales per year, and here I can be able to see the different sales that were made for the different years. I just want to format this so that I have it separated by commas. Then I reduce the number of decimal places. Okay, something seems not to be working right here. I want to sort this in descending order. So I will simply right click. On it. I move to sort, then I say sort largest to smallest. Great. Once again here, I want to insert a pivot chart. So I will come here, then I say pivot chart. This time round, I'm going to use this pivot chart. I'm going to use the column chart. So everything looks okay. Now this is my sales per year. This is now my sales per year. So once again here, I will deactivate the field buttons. All right. So everything looks good. I will put this here. Then I rename the sheet as sales per year. per year. So instead of sheet 3, I want to have here sales per year. I want to have here sales per year. I move to the next question, and the next question requires sales per region. Great. Sales per region, sales per region, sales per region. The good thing with this is that you will really take some time doing the first analysis, but once you learn this concept, then the next concept will be very, very easy. So I need the sales per year, sales per region, actually, sales per region. So I have my region here, then I have my sales in USD, I have my sales in USD here under values. So here now, over here, I have generated a pivot chart of my sales per region, sales per region. I can sort it largest to smallest. So once I sort it largest to smallest, I see the highest sales came from Africa, followed by Asia, Europe, and America, thanks to Africa, who bought majority of the products. So once again, if I'm done here, I will simply insert a chart here. I will simply insert a pivot chart here. I will simply insert a pivot chart. So let me check for maybe a good one. Alright, I believe this is still the best chart that I can have. This is still the best chart that I have, the column chart. I say okay. Maybe I can only change on the color and maybe the style. I can change on the color and the style. I can change on the color and the style. So this time round, maybe I use this style. Alright, it looks perfect. For the colors, I'm going to change the color. I'm going to change the color. I'm going to change the color. And this time round, I want to use this orange color. I want to use this orange color. Or I can even use the green one. Let me use the green one. Let me use the green color here. I want to give it a title. This is sales per region. This is representing sales per region, sales per region. So here I want to do away with the filled buttons. So everything seems okay for that. I move on. Alright, but before I move on, I want to rename this as sales per region, sales per region, sales per region. Next, I want to answer the next question here, and my next question asks for sales per product in number of years. Sales per product in number of years. So what we want to view here is basically how our product was sold in different years. So if it is, for instance, a product tonic, we want to see how much tonic was sold in the year 2012, the year 2013, and the year 2014. So I want to view my sales per product in number of years. Once again, I will move back to my data. I click anywhere, I move to my table design. I summarize in pivot table. Then right over here, I want in a new worksheet, everything looks okay. So I now need sales per product in number of years. So here I have products I will take to the rows field. Then of course I want to cross check it with the years. So I will have my years move on to the columns field. Then of course the sales in USD, I will place it under the values. My sales, I will place it under the values. Right over here, if you check, this gives me a quick overview of my sales per product in number of years, and you can be able to see how I have quickly analyzed this data set. Great. Over here, I can see that bottles in 2012 sold 2,748,000. Sorry, this is 275,000. Let me first of all format this. I'm poor at reading large numbers. Let me format this first so that I can have a quick view of it for ease of reading. Alright, so this is 2,754,838. You can see the sales in 2013, 2014, and then we have the total here. So right over here, this represents the sales, and over here you can see the sales is not aligned. So maybe if I would want to align this maybe in some ascending and descending order. So I want to see my products in terms of which one sold highest as compared to the other. Once again, I want to see the year that had the highest sale as compared to the other year. So for my for the products here, I will right click, then I say sort largest to smallest. Sort largest to smallest. And over here, you can quickly see that tonic performed the highest, followed by bottles, soft drinks, and finally ice cubes. This looks good, so I just want to insert a pivot chart here. So I'll move on to pivot chart, and this time round maybe because my visualization looks a little bit different, so maybe I can decide to use this type of chart, the clustered column chart. So I will say, okay, and this forms for me my chart here. So over here, I can just undo the field buttons, right? Then I will give my chart a title. I will give my chart a title. So I will check on the chart title to make sure that this is now denoting, right? So over here, this is sales per product. This is sales per product in number of years. Sorry, I'm gonna use the abbreviations. This is sales per product in number of years. So over here, if I check on tonic, the first visualization here, the blue line forms the sales for year 2012, the orange one year 2013, and of course the gray one year 2014. So this forms a quick overview of the performance of our sales in different years. This forms a quick overview of the performance of our sales in different years. All right, I will rename this. So the sheet is sales per product. Sales per product in number of years. Sales per product in number of years. So over here, my next question asks for sales by salesperson in the number of years. My next question asks for sales by salesperson in the number of years. Sales by salesperson in the number of years. Just the same question that we have answered, but now we're going to change the product, and now we are going to have the salesperson. So over here, my sales in USD, I drag it to values. The salesperson, I will put it under rows, and then the year, I will put it under my columns. Sorry. So over here, I can be able to easily see the sales of each salesperson for the different years. Over here, I can see the sales for Homer Simpson in this year, 2012, 2013, and 2014. And you can see my data is aligned. So over here, I can see Homer Simpson had the highest sale over the period of 8,371,373. This was closely followed by Ian Wright. Sorry, I think my data is not well aligned. So maybe I'd want to first of all align my data so that I can easily see that. Okay, so Homer Simpson had the highest sales, followed by John McAlodius, Ian Wright, and finally Michael Jackson. So I want to insert a pivot chart for this as well. So I'm just going to insert a pivot chart. Then this time round, I don't want to use that type of chart. And right, I want to use this. I want to use this type of chart here. I want to use this type of chart here. This is the type of chart that I want to use. So I will say okay. All right, I will insert the chart title. I will check on the chart title. And this time round, this is now sales per salesperson. This is sales by salesperson. This is sales by salesperson in number of years. This is sales by salesperson in number of years. This is sales by salesperson in number of years. I will undo the field buttons, right? That's okay. So this is now my sales by salesperson in number of years. So I will also rename this. Right, sorry. Sales by salesperson. Sales by salesperson in number of years. Sales by salesperson in number of years. Over here, I will move to my next question. And my last question asks for customer sales by number of years. Customer sales by number of years. Customer sales by number of years. So quickly, I will finish up on that, and then we create our dashboard. So here I have my customers here. I have my years on the columns. The sales, I have it here, right? Next, I want to insert a pivot chart. Next, I want to insert a pivot chart. I want to insert a pivot chart. Not sure if this stacked bar chart will work out best for me. Let me check it. All right, I believe that that will work. That will work. So I'm gonna click OK. Then I bring in my chart title. So for my chart title, I'm gonna call this as customer sales. This is customer sales. This is customer sales by number of years. 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 So over here I can see the different performance of my customers over the years. So this works out well for me. So great. Let me rename sheet 7 to customer sales by number of years. Customer sales by number of years. This is customer sales by number of years. Customer sales by number of years. This is customer sales by number of years. Customer sales by number of years. Great. So I have just inserted all my pivot charts and I have created all the visualizations that is able to summarize all my data set. The next thing that I want to do, well, I have analyzed that, but that could not be a best reporting strategy. I wouldn't present my boss with all these sheets that I have here. So what I want to do is basically present all these charts in a single sheet. Then I'm gonna analyze them and make them dynamic using what we call slicers. So once over here, I'm gonna create a sheet here that I'm going to name dashboard. So I'm gonna create my dashboard here. I'm going to create my dashboard here, dashboard. So maybe I'm gonna give it a different feel. I'm going to give it a different color. So for the tab color, maybe I can give it this green color here. So what I'm going to do is just to bring all my pivot charts that I have formed to this particular dashboard here. I'm gonna leave alone the pivot tables. What I'm going to bring is my pivot charts. So here, over here, I'll start migrating my pivot charts. I'll just click on it, Control C to copy. I move over to my dashboard, then I paste it, Control V, then I'm going to align it well here. I'm going to align it well here. Remember, I want all my pivot charts to fit here. So I'm going to make sure that I put it in a way that it's able to accommodate all my pivot charts. I'm going to make sure that I put it in a way that all my pivot charts will be able to be accommodated here. Right, so I'm going to bring in the other ones. I'm going to bring in the other pivot charts. So I'm gonna Control C to copy. I move to my dashboard, then I Control V to paste, then I align it here. I'm going to align it here very well. I just make sure that I align it well so that it fits. I'm gonna align it well. I'm going to align these ones well. Remember, I need to fit all my pivot charts here. I need to fit all my pivot charts here. So I'm going to make sure that I align it in a way that all my pivot charts will be fitted here. Right. So I'm going to bring the next one. So this is my next pivot chart. Control C to copy. Then I move over here to my dashboard. I move over to my dashboard and I put it on my dashboard here. Control V to paste. Okay. So over here, I'm going to make sure that I align everything. I'm going to make sure that I align everything to fit here. So that's for my sales per product. So next I move to sales per salesperson, the pie chart that I have here. So make sure that you copy the entire sheet, not only the inner part. I'm going to Control C to copy. I move on to my sheet. I move on to my dashboard. I move on to my dashboard. Control V to paste. Then I'm gonna have my pie chart here. And just close on this. I'm going to have my pie chart here. I'm going to have my pie chart well here. Right. So that is my pie chart for sales per salesperson. I'm going to move in for the next pivot chart. That is sales per salesperson. So next is sales per year. Next is sales per year. Sales per year. I also take it to my dashboard here. Sales per year. I'm also going to put it here on my dashboard. I'm also going to put my sales per year here on the dashboard. Right. So I have that here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I think I have 2 more to go. I had 7 questions. Okay, next is sales per region. Sales per region. I'm gonna control C to copy, then I take it to my dashboard. I take this to my dashboard, then from the dashboard here, I'm just going to paste it here, control V to paste, control V to paste, control V to paste. So I am going to align it. I just want to make sure that everything is visible, so I don't want anything that is hiding. So that's going to make me align all my charts to make sure that they fit to my view area. I'm just going to align all my charts to make sure that they fit to my view area. Right, so maybe here I just want to remove the data labels. I want to remove my data labels because it's filling in my chart, so I just want to have it as it is. I think that's in order. Aha. So I have one more to go. This is sales per region. Sales per region. Let me see the next one. Sales per product in years. Do I really have that? Let me confirm from my dashboard. Sales per product in years. I have sales by salesperson, number of years, sales per product. All right, I need to bring in the sales per product in years. Sales per product in years. So here I'm gonna control C. Then I go and paste it on my dashboard here. I'm going to paste this on my dashboard. I'm going to paste this on my dashboard. Control V. Control V here. Then once again, these I'm also going to clearly align this. I'm going to clearly align this so that it fits my area. I'm going to align this well so that it fits my area. So this is sales per product in years. So it'll allow me change the customer sales. Then I use this here. Then I'm gonna bring this back here. Sorry, just a minute. So I'm gonna have that there. And I pick this, I put it here. Okay. I think it's in the best order if it is placed here. I believe that will make a good visualization for it as compared to the initial one. Right. Then I'm now going to take this other slicer. Then this is what I'm going to use in this other side. This is what I'm going to use here. So I'm gonna have this one overlap the entire one. I'm gonna have this overlap the entire field like that. Right. Alright, so now from here, I want to insert what we call slicers. But once before I insert slicers, I just want to make sure that I have a very, very good visualization. And therefore, I want to make sure that I align all my charts in a very, very good order. So I'm going to highlight all the charts that are below here. I'm going to highlight all the charts that are below here. I go to shape format, then align. I just want to make sure that they are aligned well at the bottom. All of them are in the same line. So I'm going to say align bottom. And that does it for all of them. Once again, I select on all the charts that are above. I hold on control. I select on all of them. I select on all of them. I move here to shape format. Then here, align. Then I'm going to align top. I'm going to align top. Oops, sorry. Let me just undo that. I didn't uncheck on the other ones first. So I need to first of all uncheck on the other ones. So I'm going to highlight the top ones only the top charts. I go to shape format here, align, then I align top. Great, that works well. That works well now. That works well. So here is now my dashboard. Here is now my dashboard with all my charts that I created. Here is my dashboard with all the charts that I created. Here is my dashboard with all the charts that I created. So what I'm going to do now is just to simply analyze these pivot tables using slicers. So what I'm going to do here, I'm going to click on any of the pivot tables that the pivot charts that I just created. I'm going to click on any of the pivot charts that I just created. Once again, I will move to pivot chart analyze. I will move over to pivot chart analyze. Then when I move on to pivot chart analyze, here I have two options in which I can analyze them. I can analyze using a slicer, or I can analyze using a timeline. I'm not going to use timeline for this example, and I'm gonna analyze them using slicer. So I'll come here, I click on insert slicer. Once again, I will click on the specific chart elements that I'm interested in maybe analyzing my data set using. And here, for instance, assume that maybe I want to analyze it maybe in terms of the customers. So I just want to see the sales for each individual customer and how they were able to purchase from me. Once again, I want to view this by the products. I want to view it by regions and probably through the years again. So I'm gonna select on the 3. I'm gonna select on the 4 slicers. Once I'm done, I will click OK. This introduces these slicers, and now I have my slicers here. I now have my slicers. So just want to make sure that I align my slicers very well. I want to make sure that I align my slicers very well to fit my page here. So I'm gonna reduce the size for each of them. I'm gonna put the size for each of them. Then I'm going to put them just beside here. So maybe I can push these ones this side a little bit. I believe I have more space here so that I leave some space for my slicers. Okay, so I'm going to have that. And once I have that, I can easily align it with this. I move to shape format. I align right. So I can also bring over this here. Okay. I think I will. I have selected all of them. Right. I will do the same to the other charts. So I'm gonna click on this, I hold on control, I click on this, then once I pull it to the right, it's going to pull all the charts all at once. So once I have it there, I can be able to align it right so that they are in the same line. So I'm gonna click align right. That puts all of them in the same line. So now I only want to bring over this. So I want all of them highlighted. I only need this first one here. I'm gonna put it like that, right? Okay, let me bring these ones too. So once again here I can align these right. I can align them right. I can align them to the right. I'm gonna click on align, say align right. That's in order. I think I have one more. I have one more to go. So I'm just gonna make sure that I reduce the size of this a little bit so that my slicers can fit. That's the only thing that I need. I only need my slicers to fit here. So I'm just going to bring in all my slicers to this side here. I want to put all my slicers here. So I'm just going to fit all of them. Right. So next I have the slicer for the customers. Here. So I also want to align the one for the customers to automatically fit here. So just want everything to fit on this other side. All right, and that makes sense. So I can't be able to use these particular slicers here. I can't be able to use these my slicers that I have just formed here to quickly summarize this my report here. All right, I see there's one slicer that I haven't used here. Maybe I can just bring it down here, and once again here I will put it to match the formatting that I have here. I will put it to match the formatting that I have here. So I'm just going to make sure that it fits, and I want everything to be visible. I want everything to be visible, so I'm just going to fit it here. I'm just going to fit it down here. I'm going to fit it down here. All right, so everything seems okay. Everything seems okay up to now. Everything seems okay. And now I can proceed further with my analysis. Everything seems okay. Everything looks okay. And now I can proceed further with my analysis. So with all these that I have now, ladies and gentlemen, I can be able to quickly continue. I can be able to quickly continue to now quickly analyze my data. So once here, let's see, I want to see the performance of bottles only. I want to see the performance of bottles only. So here I will come and click on bottles. If you look at the behavior of my my dashboard, ladies and gentlemen, you notice that it is only this first dashboard here that is changing. It is only the first pivot chart that is changing. And yet I want a corresponding change for all my dashboard. I need that if it is a change for the product, specific product bottles, it should change by salesperson. For the sales per product, it should change for the sales per region, and as well, customer sales by number of years. What is happening is, you will recall when I was inserting my slicers, I only selected on the first sheet here. And therefore, it is only the first sheet that has been reflected. So how do I make my pivot chart connected to all the other remaining pivot charts? What I'm going to do here, I'm just going to right click on my slicer. I'm going to right click on my slicer. I right click on my slicer. Then here I'm going to select on report connections. So I click on report connections. And then if you check on this, it is only pivot table 5 that is selected. And yet I want this to apply to all these my pivot tables. So I'm just going to make sure that I check on all these pivot tables here. I'm going to check on all the pivot tables. I'm going to check on all the pivot tables. I check on all the pivot tables. I check on all the pivot tables. That's okay. I'm going to click OK. So I'm going to do that to all my slicers. I'm going to apply that to all my slicers. I right click. I say report connections. Then I make sure that I check on all my pivot charts. I make sure that I check on all my pivot charts so that I'm now able to connect each slicer to all the pivot charts. I'm able to connect each slicer to all the pivot charts. So I'm going to have that. I move to this. I right click. I come here. I say report connections. Once again here, I connect my slicer to all the pivot charts. I connect my slicer to all the pivot charts. I connect my slicer to all my pivot charts. This should now be able to give me a corresponding change in all my pivot chart elements whenever I click on it. So I come here, I say report connections. I check on all of them. All right, maybe I need to clarify something. Based on the Excel version that you have, if you don't see report connections, you will find slicer connections. Don't worry about that. Just click on slicer connection and that will give you the same role or the same feature that I have here. So once I'm done, I have just linked all my slicers to all my pivot tables, or sorry, my pivot charts here. Once again, look at this. If I come and click on tables here, now, sorry, not tables, but bottles, this makes a reflection to all my dashboard. It makes a reflection to my entire dashboard, and I am able to see the change that has happened to my entire dashboard. Once again, if I move to sales per region, I'm only viewing the sales per region for a specific product bottles only. I don't have ice cubes, soft drinks, and tonic. If I come and click on ice cubes, this gives me the performance of ice cubes only. Great. If you want to undo that, you will just uncheck on that slicer. If I want to view the performance by region, so I just want to see how was the performance of my products in the region Africa. Once again, I will come and click on Africa, and over here, you can see that all my slicers have changed, and the specific report that is now available on my dashboard is for the specific region Africa only. One thing that I want you to notice, the moment I clicked on the region Africa, I want you to watch on what happened to the slicer for the customer. All the other customers were deactivated and I only have one customer gene on the run active. What does that show? It means that the moment I select on Africa, only the customers who are in Africa remained available. And therefore, it means that Gene on the run company is the only salesperson in Africa. Once again, if you come to the customer sales by number of years here, this slicer only shows Gene on the run company only, who is our customer in Africa. Once again, I want you to check on something here. Come to this particular pivot chart here for sales per salesperson. We remained with Homer Simpson only. This means that it is only Homer Simpson who is the salesperson in the region Africa. So that is how pivot charts can that is how you can make your pivot charts to be dynamic and be able to give you a quick visualization of how your entire data set is all about. Well, I now have a dashboard here, but to me this may not seem to be a very, very good dashboard. Maybe I just want to insert maybe I want to insert something here. I want to insert something here. And what I want to insert here, maybe I want to insert, maybe for instance, say, I want to insert the chart title. I want to insert the chart title. I want to insert the chart title. So what I do here, I will just push everything down here so that I have some space up there where I can insert my chart title. So I want to push everything down a little bit. I want to push everything down a little bit. So once I select all of them, if I check on any of these, then I pull it down. That should be able to pull all of them down. So I leave it at that point. I also pull it from this side so that I have good visualizations. I'm just gonna push it maybe just a little bit. I just need a small space for my chart title. I just need a small space here for my chart title. All right, things seems to be disorganized here. So I'm going to minimize this. I'm going to minimize this so that it fits. I'm going to minimize that so that it fits. And once again here, I'm going to make sure that these ones fits. I'm going to make sure that I align these in the same size. So I'm going to align them bottom. I'm going to align them bottom. All right. And once again, I also align these other ones here bottom. So maybe I can just increase the size a little bit here. Okay, that's in order. I also do the same for this other chart. That's in order. So next I also want to align these ones. So once I have that, I can simply align the other ones bottom. I hold on control. I select the other ones. Then I align them bottom. I align them bottom. I'm gonna say align bottom. Right? That's okay. So I also bring this up so that it's in line with the others. Just want to make sure that I have a very, very nice interactive dashboard. I have a very, very nice interactive dashboard. Great. So once I'm here, I'm now going to introduce my my dashboard title. I'm going to give my dashboard a title, and here I'm gonna insert it in a pivot chart. But maybe quickly before I insert in a pivot chart, I'm not interested in these grid lines for my dashboard area, so I just want to make sure that I remove all my grid lines. I'm gonna uncheck on this option for grid lines, and that now hides everything, and my sheet has remained well. So I now want to insert my pivot title, my dashboard title. So I'm gonna use a text box here. So I'm going to insert a text box. I draw the text box here. So over here I draw the text box. I draw the text box here. I draw the text box here. Alright, so within the text box I'm going to have a text. So let me call this building future minds. Let me call this building future minds sales dashboard. Let me call this building future minds sales dashboard. So I'm gonna select a field for my dashboard. I'm gonna select a field for my dashboard, and maybe if you make an assumption that maybe I'm going to use our theme color. I'm poor in colors, but let me see which is our theme color here. No. Allow me to use the green color. I'm poor at colors, so you will allow me just to use the green color. Allow me to use the green color. So I'm gonna select on that green color there. Then for my text here, I'm going to make sure that it is well visible. So I just want to increase its font. I want to increase the font for my text. I'm going to increase the font for my text. Let me see how font size 32 works, or maybe 36. Yeah, that works best. So I'm gonna have font size 36, and then once again here I'm going to change its color. So to change its color, I'm coming here to text fill. Then I'm going to select maybe a color that is going to be matching with the what I just placed there. So if I have that right, so that is now my my dashboard title. That is my dashboard title. That is my dashboard title. So one more thing that is remaining here, ladies and gentlemen, one more thing that is remaining here. Well, I have my dashboard here, really making sense. If I click on this, everything changes as I want it to be. If I move on with these particular regions, I can be able to quickly analyze. I can be able to quickly analyze this, my data. But one more thing remaining here is that I need to quickly organize this so that it meets my organizational theme color. Maybe this is not my organizational theme color. So I just want to make sure that the entire page fits my theme color. So what I will do here, I will move on to page layout. I will move on to page layout. I will move to page layout. Then over here I can see themes. I will click on the drop down. Then here there are different themes from which you can use. There are different themes that you can use here. So you notice that if you select on any theme, that the change is going to reflect on your entire dashboard. If you select on any theme, the change is going to be reflected on your entire dashboard. Just choose on any theme, that's going to reflect on your entire dashboard here. So this will be based on your company theme color. This will be based on your company theme color here. And if maybe you make an assumption that that is your theme color, you make an assumption that's your theme color, you can be able to see the change as it is happening on your dashboard. You can be able to see the change happening on your dashboard. So let's assume maybe, for instance, because I had decided to use the green, but maybe I can change that. I can just change that. So maybe assume this is my theme color. Assume this is my theme color. So I'm going to choose on that as my theme color. And once again, if you check onto my dashboard, you are able to notice that everything on my dashboard has changed to accommodate my theme color. Everything on my dashboard has changed to simply be able to accommodate my theme color. So once over here, I have a very nice dashboard that is actually representing everything, and this is the overall performance of my company. Great. I believe this is a powerful visualization, and this was able to help you learn how you can be able to perform visualizations using Excel dashboards. So over here, if you want to present this report, you can just quickly do this, and therefore it is really an easier way. It is really an easier way to present your report. Well, I have formed my dashboard, but probably I don't want my dashboard to be mixed up with all these other sheets that I have here. So I'd really want to hide all these other sheets that I have here. So what I will do here, I will just make sure that I select all the sheets that I want to hide by holding on Control. Then I select all of them. So I only want to make sure that I have the dashboard sheet. I want to make sure that I have the dashboard sheet only. So I'm holding on Control and selecting on all the sheets that I want to hide. I hold on Control, then I select on all the sheets that I want to hide. Once I'm done over here, I will come and right click, and then I will say hide. So just a minute, I check on something. All right. So I wasn't sure what I selected. Let me just redo that. All right. So I'm going to select on all the other sheets. So let me check on these first ones first. So once I do that, I right click, then I say hide. That's able to hide them. And once over here, I'm gonna select on all these other sheets here. I select on these other sheets. Then what I do, I right click, then I say hide. That's in order. Once again here, I also want to hide these ones. I click on data, I click on question, I right click, and then I say hide. Great. I have a single Excel worksheet that is now representing my dashboard as a whole. And I can be able to see the performance of my different products over different periods. So this will form my dashboard. And this is what I will use for my reporting. In the next video, I will show you how you can be able to customize your dashboard again in other ways. This is just but a scratch of the dashboard that we have created, but we'll learn more. If you want to stay up to date on the relevant videos that I will be posting, click on the subscribe button and you will be up to date. Thank you for listening. I believe that was helpful to you. Bye bye.